high in the Spiti Himalayas, where life clings to the very edge of survival. A silent shadow drifts across the snow. It is one of the rarest of the great cats. Fewer than 4,000 remain in the wild, with only about 700 surviving here in India. Elusive, mysterious, revered, this ghost of the mountains is both predator and symbol, the lord of Spiti's frozen kingdom, the snow leopard. Spiti, meaning the middle land, is cradled between the Indian Himalayas and Tibet. A high-altitude cold desert and a world of extremes, where temperatures plunge far below freezing, where the air thins and life clings to sheer cliffs and barren slopes. Yet even here, a fragile web of life endures. Predator and prey. At the altitudinal limit of mammalian life on Earth. And at its very summit moves a ghostly, elusive presence, rarely seen, perfectly adapted, a master of patience, stealth, and camouflage, the snow leopard, its life woven into the fabric of this place, shaped by the turning seasons. The people who share these mountains, and the prey that sustains it. The snow leopard is secretive and perfectly adapted to survive in the rugged, unforgiving terrain. Thick, smoky gray coat shields it from the bone-chilling cold. While rosetted patterns dissolve its outline into the rocks. Its dense, furry tail, longer than its body, a lifeline for balance on sheer cliffs. And a blanket against Himalayan nights that fall to 40 below. My passion for big cats and the untamed wilderness of the Himalaya brought me here, to the high-altitude desert of Spiti. I set my base in Chicham village, a remote, wind-swept settlement perched at 14,000 feet. It was here that I met Gompo Chering, a history teacher in his 40s, a man whose love for wildlife is matched only by his deep knowledge of this land. For the next 4 years, we walked the land together, climbed its ridges, crossed its frozen rivers, and placed our silent sentinels, the camera traps, in narrow gullies and windswept passes. We were searching for the valley's most elusive inhabitant, the snow leopard, or shen, as it is called here. Shen roam vast territories across peaks and valleys. Their camouflage is perfect, their movements unpredictable, which makes every sighting an extraordinary challenge. Gompo gathered a team of spotters and porters, Dorje Tandup, our ace spotter. We met the villagers, young and old, listening to their stories, gathering knowledge, and building trust. In the comforting warmth of their kitchen hearth, Tom Dan and his son, Konchuk, shared their stories with me.
और आप हमेशा से यहीं पे रहे?
हमेशा ही बेटा भी हुआ।
राइट। तो पहले से स्नो लेपर्ड ज्यादा हुए हैं कि कम हुए हैं?
पहले से थोड़े ज्यादा
हो गए। अच्छा। और ब्लू शीप
तो बहुत बड़ी
बहुत बड़ी
वो है।
Tales of mountains and winters, of encounters with snow leopards and other wild creatures, woven into the rhythm of life in Spiti. The people of Spiti have lived alongside Shen for centuries, and through their words, the ghost of the Himalayas began to take shape. With their support, we were finally ready for the field. Riding a yak, I quickly discovered, is no easy task. After my first day, I never rode one again. But the spotters, they were essential. The spotters traverse vast ridges, climbing to high vantage points. Their trained eyes sweep the cliffs, scanning for the faintest movement. The suggestion of a shadow among the rocks, the peaks. Below, life goes on undisturbed. A herd of blue sheep graze on brittle grass, their sharp hooves clinging to impossible slopes. To them, the cliffs are a sanctuary, a world of sheer faces and plunging ravines. But in this kingdom of stone, predator and prey are bound in an ancient dance. And somewhere, unseen among the rocks, the snow leopard waits. Hours can pass as patience becomes its weapon. Then, movement, silent, fluid, a shadow slipping closer. The final rush explodes in a heartbeat. Success is never certain. For every hunt that ends in triumph, many fail. And in this unforgiving world, failure means starvation. Direct chases often fail, but the snow leopard has learned another strategy. When prey flees to a cliff edge, a sheer drop plunging hundreds of meters, the leopard holds back. A pursuit here could mean injury or even death, so it waits, sometimes for hours. Patience becomes its weapon, as exhaustion slowly saps the strength of its quarry. Then, with measured steps, the leopard edges closer. At the right moment, a sudden swipe of its powerful paw. In panic, the prey bolts, but there is nowhere left to run. One desperate leap, and it plunges into the abyss below. The snow leopard descends carefully. And claims its prize, a meal won not only by strength, but by patience. Snow leopards command vast kingdoms, from the highest peaks to the deepest, shadowed valleys, territories they patrol relentlessly. To mark their presence, they leave signs written not in words, but in scent, scraping the ground with powerful hind paws, pausing to urinate, then scraping again. The earth itself becomes infused with their identity. Another method is spraying, a bold statement left high upon the rocks. When a shen comes across a stone that is already marked, it halts, inhales deeply, then rubs its cheeks against the scent before turning to leave its own. These are more than boundaries. They are calling cards, identifying each individual, a silent language etched across the mountains, where every scrape and spray carries meaning. Here, even the wind carries secrets. In these mountains, scent is power. Scrapes and sprays declare ownership, strength, and intent. But sometimes, these silent signposts carry another message. A female, ready to breed. For a few fleeting days each winter, a female leaves her message across the cliffs, an invitation carried on the wind. Then, a sound cuts through the stillness. The snow leopard, announcing its presence, searching for a mate. Snow leopards are solitary, but in these weeks, territories overlap, following an invisible trail drawn by scent and calls. The two meet only for a few days. The encounter is both fierce and tender. Snow leopards court and mate between February and March. At the start of this brief season, the female is often dominant, more aggressive, more vocal. She growls and swipes at the male, testing him with sharp blows of her forepaws. But as courtship unfolds, her aggression eases. Growls soften into purrs. For several days, they remain together, mating repeatedly, sometimes dozens of times a day. Soon, they will part, the male to continue his solitary patrols, the female to carry within her the promise of new life. In the silence of the Spiti Himalayas, the cycle begins anew, as two ghosts of the mountains have come together to keep their kind alive. Snow loosens its grip in the high Himalayas. Spring returns. In the heart of the cliffs, life begins unseen. Mother leopard times the birth perfectly. This is a season of abundance. The ibex and the blue sheep have brought new life to the mountains. Mother leopard hides her cubs well for many weeks. She protects, feeds, and teaches them patience, stealth, and the deadly precision of pounce, the art of the hunt. The cubs watch and learn. Cubs play, refining their moves for hunts. But survival is never certain. Cold, hunger, predators, avalanches. The mountains are merciless. For 2 years, she watches over them. Then she leaves. Alone, the cubs face the frozen peaks. To carve out their paths, to write their own stories. The snow leopard prowls the frozen peaks, never alone. There are rivals. Himalayan wolves, bold, relentless, move in packs. Red foxes linger, stealing scraps from kills. Camera traps reveal their activities, cunning and always wary of the leopard. Above, scavengers circle, lammergeiers, vultures, ravens, choughs. Nothing is wasted. Threats gather, free-roaming dogs harass, steal the leopard's meal. The snow leopard spends precious energy fending off the thieves. But packs can be relentless. When a large group descends, The leopard has no choice but to abandon its prize. The meal is lost. Even here, at the top of the food chain, the predator must move carefully, weighed by risk and ruled by survival. For centuries, the people of Spiti have shared this land with the snow leopard. Guided by the ancient wisdom of Buddhism and a deep belief in compassion for all living beings, the people protect the land and the creatures who walk it. In return, the land gives back. Crops of oats and peas in abundance. The land feeds their herds. Sustains their homes. And binds them to a rhythm as old as the mountains themselves. The snow leopard's future rests in human hands, for in these mountains, survival is not a battle to be won, but a balance to be kept. Here in Spiti, hope takes many forms. Conservationists and villagers work side by side, sterilizing and tagging free-ranging dogs, building predator-proof corrals that keep herds safe, and ensuring families are compensated when a leopard claims their livestock. At the heart of it all is community, committees formed in tiny villages, elders and herders guiding decisions, a collective will to safeguard both people and predator. On the roof of the world, life endures, fragile yet magnificent. The snow leopard, phantom of the Himalayas, rarely seen, never forgotten, the soul of the Spiti Mountains.